What's going on, everybody? This is your November 7th Raw review. We're sticking with this camera because the other camera I just can't figure out how to hook up to my brand new computer. But brand new computer means hopefully this video will be up before, doomsday. Open up the show with John Cena plugging Mania, plugging the ticket sales for Mania. Says Miz and R-Truth are going to face Cena and a future Hall of Famer tonight. Doesn't say who it is, da-da-da-da-da. Miz and R-Truth come out. I pinned you at Mania. You embarrassed us last week. It's not going to happen tonight. It's not going to happen at Survivor Series, da-da-da-da-da. They're about to double team Cena, and Zack Ryder comes out. Zack Ryder is the future Hall of Famer that John Cena is going to come out with tonight. So they come out and they do their fist pumping and shit like that. I do have one thing to say about the Ryder and Cena thing. I'm going to save that for my, score fail and MVP, but there is something coming. Next, out of nowhere, always good to see, without question, we have, well, for no particular reason, but it doesn't really matter, Dolph Ziggler versus John Morrison. I love this match. I've always loved this match. From the first time I ever saw these two guys fight, this was the match facing John Morrison that really started me, personally, taking a look at Dolph Ziggler as a legitimate, main event guy. Great match. Both guys, you can tell. Ziggler and Ryder, you can tell, love working together. Ziggler and Morrison, you can also tell, working really good. And the more you see Ziggler in the ring, the more you can see Ziggler is really the meld of badass Billy Gunn and Shawn Michaels, just between the charisma of Shawn Michaels and some of the facial expressions, some of the intensity, and some of the movement style of a badass Billy Gunn. Being over in the UK, I should have mentioned that earlier because it comes into play again later on. But they're not cheering for Morrison, they're cheering for Ziggler, and they're cheering loud, and they're cheering, vehemently for Ziggler, right? Morrison hits a great tilt-a-whirl backbreaker at one point in this match, which is absolutely incredible. Big mark for Morrison, even though, WWE hates him, and, he's never going to have a world title ever. Really interesting pinfall reversal sequence between the two of them, and Morrison actually gets the win. I'm not surprised from the fact that, I don't think Morrison deserves to win. I'm surprised because Morrison's been in the WWE doghouse for seemingly ever since Mania. So yeah, it was a great little, for the first match of the night, it was a great match. It was, made me think a lot of SmackDown last week. I don't review SmackDown. The one thing I will say about SmackDown kicked off right off the bat last Friday with the match, the hardcore match between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Problem with that was they really went downhill after that, as far as I'm concerned, because you can't really follow a half-hour-long hardcore match between Rhodes and Orton with anything else that SmackDown has right now. I mean, Mark Henry's still their champion, so what can we expect? Coming back from break, we have the announcement that there is finally a Survivor Series match. At Survivor Series, we have Team Orton, which is Randy Orton, Kofi Kingston, Mason Ryan, Sin Cara, and Sheamus, versus Wade Barrett, Team Barrett, which is Wade Barrett, Christian Swagger, Rhodes, and Hunico. So, as a lot of people were predicting, it's we don't have a main event Survivor Series match, we have a Survivor Series match consisting of everybody else that doesn't already have a main event spot. And when you see some of the names that are in there that should be in the main event spot, it's kind of depressing, but what are you going to do? To give the announcers time to talk about that match, we have Mason Ryan versus JTG, which was a complete squash. We had Mason Ryan video package to remind us why Mason Ryan is even, quote, relevant. Mason Ryan, Batista 2.0, it completely squashes JTG. It's absolutely ridiculous. Come back from break, announced that the Michael Cole challenge for JR again is postponed because supposedly, according to Michael Cole, JR got stopped at the airport because he was carrying too much barbecue sauce, and Michael Cole continues to be ridiculous. Somebody told me, I think it was Joe Shy Guy, Michael Cole is an anagram for comical heel. Yeah. Let that sink in for a second. Alright, Alberto Del Rio versus Kofi Kingston. They need to find something for Kofi Kingston to do while Evan Bourne is doing his, 30 days out on the wellness policy and all that sort of thing. Really screws over Kofi Kingston, being that they're the tag team champions. He can't defend his championship, but whatever. Didn't think going into this match that it was going to be any good. Alberto Del Rio, the world champion, versus, half a tag team. This match, I will say, was a heck of a lot better than it deserved to be. For sure. Alberto Del Rio, with his amazing ring psychology, beats on Kofi Kingston's arm relentlessly through the whole match. Kofi Kingston gets one short burst of offense in, quickly countered. He eats some post. Alberto Del Rio, I can speak, I swear, hits the cross armbreaker, and Alberto Del Rio wins. He's about to give him a post-match beatdown when he's interrupted by Punk, and we immediately go to break. So it's like, okay, we're going to have Pipe Bomb Central when we come back from break. That's fine. We come back from break, and Alberto Del Rio's already in the middle of his tirade to CM Punk. So that was a little... didn't get the beginning of that, but whatever. It's Alberto Del Rio. He's good in the ring, not so good on the mic. Basically, he says, nobody cares about the UK, nobody cares about where we are, nobody cares about you. You need to cancel the match. The way you went about getting the match was unfair, da-da-da-da-da. Punk proceeds in pure pipe bomb fashion to point out that, yeah, you won the title after Kevin Nash powerbombed me. You retained the title in Hell in the Cell by beating me over the head with a pipe, so let's not talk about morals type thing. Alberto Del Rio says, you will respect me, and da-da-da-da-da, and I thought he was going to go into a John Laurinaitis, I respect you promo again, but he didn't. He says, you are a great in-ring competitor, this, that, and the next thing. Proceeds to take him apart based on his promo skills, which I thought was an interesting little detour. He says, you're boring, you're one-dimensional, and when I beat you at Survivor Series, I'm going to do the one thing that you can't do, and that's make the WWE title interesting again. My first thought is Punk is going to win, and we're finally going to get rid of the spinner belt. So let's cross our fingers for that, guys. Oh, yes. Alberto Del Rio and him, then, they come to blows, cross arm breaker versus Anaconda Vice, this and that. Alberto Del Rio runs away, and a GTS is eaten like a champ by Ricardo Rodriguez. Is there, guys, and I mean this in all seriousness, is there a move that Ricardo Rodriguez has not eaten on behalf of Alberto Del Rio from somebody in the WWE? He's taken the GTS a bunch of times. He's taken the Attitude Adjustment, a bunch of times. He's, Alright, we come back from break. We have a recap of the Muppets for no particular reason. Why, the personification of PG was last week, and that was just bad. All to set up Swagger versus Santino again. And this one's going out to Deluxe Man because I know he hates referring to the Divas matches as piss break matches. Santino versus Swagger tonight gets the piss break award of the evening, not the Divas, although there wasn't a Divas match tonight, so whatever. Swagger wins with an ankle lock, excuse me guys. That's about it. Jerry Lawler comes to the ring and announces Kelly Kelly to the ring. Kelly Kelly is on the cover of Maxim. Oh dear. Remember back in the day when we had Real Divas and they ended up in Playboy and it was awesome? Yeah, now we have Kelly Kelly in Maxim. Oh dear. Alright, we have the Divas of Doom come out and, bash her for being a Barbie doll, which I thought was tremendous. Saying she should thank Skipper and Ken in her thanks speech and all that. They're about to beat her down. Alicia Fox and Eve Torres come out to back up Kelly Kelly, and the Divas of Doom leave. 3-on-2, fuck that noise, and we're leaving. Alright. Nash comes out, long story short, cuts this big story about how him and Triple H used to be the Clique, da-da-da-da-da. I wanted to come back after the Royal Rumble. I wanted to get back together with you, have old times, have Clique, /DX/NWO times. You ignored me, da-da-da-da-da. You betrayed me. So I came back with your sledgehammer and I played the game. That's it. We have a backstage segment with Otunga and John Laurinaitis delaying the Brodus Clay debut, saying that we need to have this debut in someplace classier, like the United States. Oh, that was, no good. Punk comes out and makes fun of John Laurinaitis. Otunga tells Punk that he doesn't think that we should have a WWE champion that looks like he works on a gas station. And, pretty simple after that. Punk beats down Otunga. Alberto Del Rio comes out of nowhere and beats down Punk. And we go to break, and, John Laurinaitis is pretending to tell Alberto Del Rio to stop it when really he's not, and this and that and the next thing. If I keep looking around really weird, guys, it's because this camera is totally not where I had my other camera, where my setup was before, but I can't really do it. So it's a little tiny thing, but where the camera is and where the angle is and all that is a big thing for me. I don't like change, Awesome Truth versus Cena and Ryder. This wasn't really a spectacular, way out there match. Cena does his face in peril thing. The Ryder chants go nuts in Liverpool tonight. I will say that much. Ryder gets the red hot tag. Ryder starts getting ridiculously beat down by The Miz. Cena comes back in with Ryder's shades on, and they do a double woo kick to both of Awesome Truth. While Miz is beating down Ryder, he's sitting arguing with Cena. It was it kind of buried Ryder's efforts in the ring a little bit, but it was kind of comical to see Miz and Cena arguing inside the ring to outside the ring while he's just beating down Ryder as if it's like a secondary task. Hot tag again. We have a double 5-knuckle shuffle. Miz counters the attitude adjustment. Cena eats a boot in the face and is pinned by The Miz because R-Truth holds his feet down so that he can't, get his feet up on the ropes or whatever. Miz and R-Truth are your winners to end Raw. Beautiful. Beautiful. We're finally building the main criticism from most people about the match at Survivor Series has been that Cena's been handling Miz and Truth fine on his own. Why does he need The Rock at Survivor Series? Tonight, Miz and R-Truth look a bit stronger. They cheated to win. They're heels. They do their cheat to win thing, but they still look strong. They still found a way to beat John Cena. I like that. And, Zack Ryder got some main event time, which is also, doesn't hurt anybody either. Scores, fails, and MVPs for tonight. Score number 1 is Punk. I'm not even going to go any further into that. Punk, head to toe, from promo to in-ring work to psychology to tearing apart everybody else around him. Nobody can touch Punk. The Rock can't touch Punk right now. And that's what I will go as far as to say if Shawn Michaels came back for one more match, Shawn Michaels couldn't touch Punk the way Punk is going right now. Ziggler Morrison, like I said, this is always a good match. Don't have the title on the line, don't have any other Vicky bullshit, don't have any other, if Melina was still around, no Melina bullshit, no Vicky bullshit, no titles are necessary. These two together in a ring always put a good match on. I said the same thing about The Miz and Alex Riley when Alex Riley got his face push before he disappeared. Miz and Riley, week after week after week, were putting on great matches. Morrison and Ziggler, same deal. We finally have a Survivor Series match. Not the biggest, most star-studded Survivor Series match they could have come up with, but I still think it's better to have one than not have one at all. We can think back to Survivor Series that did not have a Survivor Series match in them at all, and it's just why bother? You might as well call it an In Your House. I went there. Yes, I did. Cena and Ryder. I said I had something to say about this earlier in the night. I will be the first one to get on Cena. Cena buries pretty much everybody other than Punk and The Rock. But as far as upcoming guys, as far as being instrumental, side by side, hand in hand, bringing somebody up, Cena has been utterly instrumental in the rise of Zack Ryder, and I will give him credit for that. The Divas of Doom are finally being booked strong. Now, yeah, they're going head-to-head with Kelly, who I can't stand. Yeah, they walked away tonight. They didn't do anything incredibly impactful, but they came in, they did their bullying spiel 2-on-1, and it took a 3-on-2 advantage for them to leave. So what WWE is basically saying is, to fight these 2 women, we need these 3 women. That's strong booking. That makes sense. Enough. Fail. WWE doing the bait and switch. They've done it twice now with the Michael Cole challenge. I don't really care about the Michael Cole JR shit. I just want whatever the Michael Cole challenge is to happen so it can be over. And they've been promising that for 2 weeks now, and they haven't done it. They've been building Brodus Clay for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to this re-debut tonight, and they postpone it to next week and insult an entire country in the process. Not a great way to have a solid, you know, confident fan following there, WWE. The look ahead to Mania, I understand that we're trying, this is the only, Rock and Cena is the only long-standing story the WWE has, other than, you know, making pay-per-views shows week to week and pay-per-views month to month. The only long-term plan they have in the WWE right now is Rock and Cena. But if you keep pushing Mania, and Mania is the thing foremost in everybody, excuse me. If Mania is the thing foremost in everybody's mind right now, people are thinking, well, why am I going to bother order Survivor Series? Now, logically, that's not true. Survivor Series is going to have some great matches on it, and people want to see those great matches. I want to see Alberto Del Rio and Punk. That's why I am buying Survivor Series. I am not buying Survivor Series to have it confirmed that Cena and The Rock are not going to work as a tag team. I am ordering Survivor Series because I want to see Alberto Del Rio versus CM Punk. I think that's going to be an amazing match. I think that's going to be match of the night, bar none. But you keep pushing WrestleMania like months and months and months out. Other people, casual fans, are going to think, well, if WrestleMania is the next big thing, why am I going to bother ordering Survivor Series? Why am I going to bother ordering TLC? Why am I going to bother ordering Elimination Chamber, etc., whatever else there is? That's not a bright move on their part. Fail. And this is for me personally. I don't know how many people agree with it. I don't agree with JTG finally getting on Raw or SmackDown or one of the major shows for the first time in ages and getting squashed. JTG, and I've said this ever since they broke up Crime Time, could be a legit mid-carder. I'm not going to sit here on my high horse and say JTG is going to be the next WWE champion. Of course not. I'm more realistic than that. He could be a US champion. He could be the guy that, you know, goes up against somebody, you know, that's really classy and technical and you know, traditional wrestler, and be that opposite guy, like John Cena was when he was still all gangster and whatever, and then he won the US title and made the US title spinner, and that was a spinner I didn't actually mind, by the way. But JTG could be that mid-card guy, and I've said this also for months and months and months and over a year now. If R-Truth hadn't teamed up with The Miz by now, I think R-Truth and JTG could have made an awesome tag team. They could be the tag team champions. I could believe that. No problem with that whatsoever. But no, they're putting over Mason Ryan over somebody awesome like JTG because Vince has passed on his boner for big guys to his son-in-law Triple H. Oh, it's true. It's true. Alright. Said we finally have a match at Survivor Series, which is all well and good. But with the contenders in the match, we're not going to have an Intercontinental Championship match because Cody Rhodes is in the match. We're not going to have a tag team title match, well, because Kofi's in the match and because Evan's suspended. Because they're both in the match, we're not going to see a definitive end to the Rhodes-Orton rivalry at Survivor Series. They're going to drag that on a little bit longer, but I would have rather seen that rivalry come to a head at a major pay-per-view like the Survivor Series, because I can't see them making it last all the way to Royal Rumble and still have the steam that it has now. They could have capitalized on it. They could have had Orton Rhodes at Survivor Series, and it could have been a really, really big deal. Kind of disappointed that they didn't do that. Last fail from me, and this is a little thing, and this is, you know, some of the fun stuff in the WWE. Awesome Truth came out tonight to their, you know, their combined music and whatever. They didn't do their little opening rap spiel that they do. And, you know, obviously they're trying to sell that this is a big main event and we're taking it seriously and da-da-da-da, but I'm getting used to that. To me, R-Truth's rapping, whether he was a heel, whether he was a face or whatever, goes hand in hand with the mentality of the New Age Outlaws from back in the day, when you had Road Dogg and the "oh, you didn't know," and then he'd have, and it wasn't even a rap, it was just a random spiel, whatever he was pulling off the top of his head every time they went to the ring. And the one or two times that, you know, there was a very serious situation and he didn't have anything to say, it really, really, really poignantly made the point very, very clear that it was a really, really big deal. And I mean, it was a main event on Raw, but this was not any kind of serious main event that had any major ramifications other than, you know, Cena has a reason to be pissed off now. So I'm kind of curious as to why they didn't do that. But that's just, like I say, a little thing on my part, and it's not enough to ruin the show. The show overall was a great show. I expected a little bit more from Nash. I don't know what I expected, but I expected more. Like I said, we were all looking forward to the Brodus Clay re-debut. That didn't happen. We were bait and switched on that. We were bait and switched on the whole Michael Cole JR thing again, which is kind of bullshit. But despite all those things that we didn't quite get, I still thought this was a great, great show, and one of the better ones in a while, especially after the Muppet bullshit from last week. MVP for this week has to be John Morrison. Has to be. For at least one night, John Morrison is out of the WWE doghouse, and I'm happy for the guy. John Morrison, Mark, take me or leave me, whatever. Now, before I go, two things. First of all, I want to put out a plug to Beermoney2k. Take a minute. Let that sink in. I'm plugging Beermoney2k. Now, people that know who Beermoney2k are going to say, whoa, Spaz, you can't stand Preston. Why are you plugging Beermoney2k? It's true. I can't stand Preston. I still can't stand Preston. That's not going to change anytime soon. But after listening to Deluxeman and John's burial of TNA and their indictment of Jeff Hardy, and, you know, John being the other half of Beermoney2k, speaking very, very passionately against Jeff Hardy, then taking the time to come to my last video, which was a little bit of a ramble of random topics, including Jeff Hardy, left me some very, very nice comments. You know, I don't agree with you, but, you know, you've made some great points, gave me some great, great positive feedback. And after that, I went back through Beermoney2k, and I've listened to a lot of the stuff that's specifically John's, with open eyes, with an open mind, whatever. And although I can't stand Preston, and although I can't stand most of the stuff that he does on there, I will tell all of you to go check out Beermoney2k. If you can wade through the Preston crap, John knows what he's talking about. Go check it out. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying this to be a douche. I'm not saying this is a dig at Preston. I can't stand what he does, personally. John, on the other hand, if you can wade through the Preston crap, John knows what the hell he's talking about. He's a passionate wrestling fan that I'm growing a great deal of respect for. So based on that, I'm going to go recommend everybody go check out Beermoney2k. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about just before I leave, and this is a personal favor on my part. You guys have seen me talk about my online friend Spyra Andover, who has done more than I can even imagine trying to help me promote this channel, contributing to the success of this channel, contributing to how close I am to my first 100 subs. She's awesome. She's amazing. Right now she's involved in a Freddy Krueger Halloween look-alike contest on Facebook. I'm trying to help her win. All you guys have to do is click the link down below. I'm going to put in the description box. You don't have to join anything. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to like the page. You don't have to do anything like that. All you have to do is click on the link, like the picture, and leave. If you guys are okay with doing that for me, if you guys will do that favor for me, help me do that favor for her, I will be forever in all of your debts, and you're all amazing people, and I already know that. As for me, I've been Spaz. Subscribe up there, talk down there, let me know what you think about everything I've said tonight. Start a conversation, and I will talk to all of you guys later. Bye.
Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get